It's plain and simple. You can't simply beat a Kalashnikov. If you want something that's much smaller, then we are in for a really good treat. Suppose that you want something that is just as small, can go in close quarter combat, and can kill a whole bunch of people with a fast rate of fire, while still having the legendary reliability of a Kalashnikov. Today, we are going to be reviewing the AK-74U. The AK-74U is a shortened version of the AK-74, and it was made in 1973. It basically has the same recoil of that of the 74, which was pretty low and uses a small cartridge, but it compacts and fits well, just like a smaller sized weapon, and it's really well when it comes to CQC. It was inspired by the Kar-15 assault rifle, a smaller version of that of the M16. It started to be used in 1979, and the AK-74U is its actual name, the S meaning folded stock, and the U being shortened. The weapon is still being used today, not just by Russia, but by Eastern European countries, the Middle East, and even in Africa, and even such that terrorists and Osama bin Laden use the weapon. Damage-wise, it's pretty good, up at a short distance. With damage, you'll be killing within 3 to 5 shots, 2 in the head and 4 in the distance when it comes to the head. Your range, however, is going to be a weakness. It has poor range like most of the SMGs, at 19 to 25 meters. Your penetration ability, however, is good, and this averages out when it comes to an assault rifle, unlike the other SMGs. Your rate of fire, however, is at the lowest tier, tied with the MP5, but it's still fast nonetheless, at 800 rounds per minute, and with double tap equip is 1071 rounds per minute. Your hipfire, however, is low, but if you equip it with a silencer or a red dot sight, it will be an average hipfire. Compare that to an assault rifle. So it could be a little bit of an issue, but with your rate of fire, I wouldn't really worry about that. Recoil, it's moderate, but also very controllable, which means this weapon can be killing people within longer ranges than that of close range support. It can even kill within medium ranges, but I wouldn't go farther than that because the recoil can be a big problem with it. But your switch times, however, are slow, at 600 milliseconds down, and then when you are going up, it's almost a full second, like that of the AK-47. Your movement speed, however, is unusual, and it is not the SMG default, but the assault rifle default, or sniper rifle default as well, at 95% of the base speed. Your magazine is nothing spectacular. You will have 30 rounds in your magazine, and then with your starting supply, you have 2 other magazines onto the side, starting up with 90 rounds. However, with your reload, it is around moderate, and it has the same reloading animation of that of the AK-47, at 2.5 seconds. So this weapon is basically a hybrid of an SMG with the handling traits of an assault rifle. So, with our weapon, we are going to be making a mobile marksman class, but instead of being more of a brawling class, we are going to be using counter ops, and we're going to be using survival as our watchword. For our attachment, we are basically going to have no attachment onto this thing. We are going to be using the plain old iron sights. The iron sights are very clean and are very usable within the weapon, and it's pretty friendly for all the other people there if they're new to the game. But using an ACOG scope or a red dot is pretty much cosmetic and will affect the recoil as well. So, better than that, you should be using the iron sights. But with the silencer, that is pretty much the most closest thing you would want. But do be warned that your hipfire will be average if you equip it, and you will have a little bit lower damage. When it comes to counter-ops, we are going to be using our first perk choice, for Bomb Squad. For Bomb Squad, it will keep enemy explosives highlighted, such as C4 and the Claymores, and with your average rate of fire, you can easily shoot them down, even when it comes to objectives, rooms, or anything like that. You can even kill the owner or a buddy of theirs within the process as well. But if you prefer more ammo, then no doubt Bandolier is a good choice, due to its high rate of fire. Second up, with our survival, we are going to be using Juggernaut. Juggernaut, what it does is that it increases your health slightly, so you can take one more shot before dying out, and that could be the difference between life and death. But do be warned, with Juggernaut, you will be countered that to Sonic Boom and that of Stopping Power, which means they will need the amount of default shots in order to kill you, or with a sniper rifle, the same multipliers to kill you. Like for example, you can't shoot them in the waist, but you have to shoot them up in the chest like they usually do, if you're using the R700, Dragunov, or Bear 50 caliber. But if you prefer more damage, Stopping Power is a good choice as well, due to the lower range of the weapon. But even Double Tap can work as well, due to its high rate of fire, and your recoil won't be affected as much. Lastly, we are going to be using Penetration Power, and Deep Impact is pretty good at that. With Deep Impact equipped, you will be having better penetration than that of your regular penetration. Even though the penetration ability on this weapon is pretty good compared to the SMGs, this one, well, if you wanted to go any further and want to use less shots, Deep Impact can work too, even with larger parts of cover, or that if you're wanting to kill people with less shots. But with this, I do suggest for a pistol, using a weapon with high power, such as the 44 Magnum, Desert Eagle, or even such you could use the M1911 as well. The AK-74U is basically a hybrid of two weapons. You have the high rate of fire and damage of that of an SMG, but the handling traits of an assault rifle. It has the best penetration within its class, a high rate of fire, and it's pretty usable when it comes to medium ranges as well, unlike half of the SMGs. But it can also be deadly too when it comes to close range as well, like all other SMGs. However, when it comes to the other SMGs, you do have a slower handling time. You pretty much have the same switch times as that of the AK-47, and if you're switching to an RPG or anything else important other than a pistol, it can get you killed, and for such, I wouldn't recommend it for an overkill class. But also, it also has moderate recoil, and that can be a big problem when it comes to longer ranges, so don't do it when it comes to longer ranges for like sniper rifles and such. It's definitely not a good laser. But it also has low damage and low ranges, which means at longer ranges you are going to be killing people within 4 to 5 shots most of the time. But overall, this weapon can be a good SMG assault rifle hybrid, and it's good at longer ranges compared to most of the SMGs. So if you can stay your distance and know the similarities of the weapon, you are going to be pretty good. And this weapon is one of the most favorite weapons within the series for a good reason. So if you want something of both worlds and want something that is nice, little, compact for an SMG, then it's time to pick a Kalashnikov. Thank you all very much for watching. Be sure to like, favorite, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and be sure to look at my Twitch and Facebook pages down below. And for our next weapon, we are going to be looking at the last SMG that you get, and that is the P90. Until then, GalacticStorm saying, keep charging, bitches.